Hello. I'm going to do a practice mainly on releasing the hips. So hips, hip flexors, bit of bum work. So what you might want is a block and a strap, a blanket if you want to put something else underneath. And let's start by lying down on our backs. So we're just going to lie down. Just have your legs bent, pop something under your head if you notice that your forehead is lower than your chin. And then you could just bring your hands to your belly. And we'll just have a few breaths there. So let your body just settle on the floor. Feel the back of your head, back of the shoulders, back of the pelvis. And your feet softly on the floor. And let's just have 5 breaths here. Just notice the quality of your breath, the parts of your body that are moving with your breath. Just notice if you have a holding tension in your jaw or your eyes. Just let the eyes be closed if you like, closed or open. And jaw and tongue relaxed. We're going to keep the trunk just nice and quiet, so not holding the trunk down or the ribs down or anything like that. We're just going to roll the legs one way and then through centre to the other way, just keeping these hip flexors soft. So you can keep your elbows on the floor, just bring your fingertips just inside the hip bone, so these hip bones are these front things, the bony bits, and just lift one leg up, feel the hip flexor work, and then other side. So now we want to keep them just nice and soft. There's just a little bit of tone there because the legs are bent. And we're just going to roll over to one side, letting the abdomen respond, but keeping the hip flexors soft. So they sort of roll, they move a little bit, but they don't get tense. So only go as far as you can go. So be this is the ordeal. So be honest. So we want them to just release and relax. They don't always need to be on and gripping. So that's just trying to keep nice space and nice and soft, easy movement through the hips. So just go over, just keeping those hip flexors nice and relaxed. One more time each side. And you might find if you just go nice and slow, you might get to go a little bit further. They'll just release and relax and let you go a little bit further. And then come back to centre. So bring one leg forward, keep the pelvis still, so it's not tipping back, just stay still. So the leg just comes forward and just hold behind the knee, lengthen the other leg out, and just drawing that leg in towards that shoulder. So just keep making sure you're not just arching up like that. So we want the movement to be in this leg bone, really in the hip joint. And you can move it a little bit with your breath. So you inhale, the leg might come away. As you exhale, you draw it in. And now we'll do a little twist. So just release this right arm. I've got my right leg forward, up. So release the right arm, shoulder to the floor, it stays nice and relaxed, and you just take that leg across the body. And nice, gentle, full breath. And then we'll come back to centre and go to the other side. So keeping the trunk still, pelvis still, bring your left leg up and just reach through the right leg. So my right toes are on that straight leg. I've just got a little bit of length going through, the energy going through into the foot, but my toes aren't rigid or held or anything like that. And just bring that left knee up. So jaw stays relaxed, relax at the back of the neck. And then we can twist. So Left arm, left shoulder stays on the floor. I pop my hand underneath my side, the side I've had my hip replaced on, so I give a little bit more support. And nice breath. And then we'll come back to centre. And then we're going to do butterfly. So we're going to just bring your fingertips again back to the inside of the hips. Feet are on the floor, and we're keeping the hip flexors soft. So we're just going to gently take the knees apart from each other, legs apart from each other. So it's the outer hips that control this movement. And as we bring the legs in, it's the inner thighs. So again, the hip flexors don't need to come on. They can just stay relaxed. Go one more. And then up. Now we'll go one leg at a time. So I'm going to take my right leg out so both hip flexors stay soft. And now go other side. So remember just keeping your shoulders, jaw relaxed. So not having tension anywhere else in the body. That's just not necessary. Just trying to let that sort of compensation patterns go. So then we have more energy for the actual motion and movements that we want to do. And now we're going to go out, so I'm going to go back to my right side. So I'm going to roll that leg out, just keeping both hip flexors relaxed, then just lengthen the leg away. So foot stays, toes stay relaxed, heel stroke goes straight out. Now the leg comes forward, hip flexor works. That's its job now. So the leg goes out, hip flexor soft, take the leg away, roll it back up, and hip flexor works as you bring the leg back. Take that leg out. Take it away, bring it back. Let's go one more time on that side. It's like 5 each. And back. Now let's go the other side. So again, both hip flexors relaxed. Take that leg out to the side, and then out, and back up. So if you're having trouble with hip flexors, your movement might be here before the hip flexor comes on. You might only get it out that far and bring it back. So give it a chance to release. So don't just go out just because you think that's better. So if your hip flexor comes on, as you start to go out to here, then just go that far. Go out again till it wants to come on and bring it back. So you work out what is the motion you can do. There we are. Good. And now what else did I have on my menu? We're going to go do a little suit discuss series. So grab your strap. Again, have the pelvis in a neutral position, so it's not rolled back, it's not overly arched through the back. And we're just going to bring one leg up and take the strap around the foot. So as much as you can, just keep your head and shoulders relaxed. So sling that old strap around and just take the strap maybe just on your right hand. And you can keep the back of the upper arm on the floor. And we're just going to take the leg out just a little bit. So it's like, 20 centimetres of stuff away from the centre line. So the pelvis just stays completely relaxed. And it's just this leg bone, so the femur, the thigh bone, moving in the hip joint. So we're just gently moving it so it's just nice and smooth. All those little muscles that help that motion are just keeping Don't relax really, no strain or pain. Good, and now we'll bring it back to centre. Now we can lengthen this leg out, so make sure pelvis stays still, doesn't arch up or roll back. And you can take one strap in each hand and just as you can bring the leg forward. So again, it's just this leg bone coming forward, the pelvis doesn't move. Nice easy breath. So my toes are relaxed, so you don't need to lengthen and strain those toes or anything, just let the legs relax. And just bring the leg back, but take the strap into the right hand. Now we're going to take the leg out to the side. So put your left hand on the pelvis. We know this pelvis is not going with the leg, it's just staying still. And legs out to the right. Yeah, luckily I've got the wall there, I can help with my foot. Now we'll bring the leg up, and now we'll take it across the body, so you can swap into the strap with the other hand. So again, the pelvis stays still, we're not rolling, we're not twisting, we're just taking the leg. So a little bit of length required through the outer hip. And then bringing the leg back up. And you bend the other leg and then just slide the strap off and come back, put that leg on the floor. Just have a breath, just feel the difference on that right side to the left. And now we'll take the left leg up, so pop the strap around the foot. Lift the leg up, so I've just got the strap in the left hand. And I'm just gently moving the leg out to the side. And this side I don't go so far across, because it's the leg I've had the hip replaced in, and it's not advised to take your leg across the centre line because there's not a lot holding this piece of crockery and the piece of plastic hip joint. Just keeping it nice and relaxed. Just giving those muscles and that tissue around the hip joint a chance to just relax. And now we'll bring the leg back to centre. Take one strap in each hand, just lengthen that other leg out, and again pelvis just stays just as it was. It's not tipping back and forward, and just bringing the leg further forward if you can. Now I'll take the leg up to the side, so I'm just going to take the strap into the left hand, just from the right hand to the pelvis, and so I know that the pelvis is moving with the leg, it's just staying still, so the leg is abducting away from the centre line. Keeping the breath nice and gentle. And then bringing the leg back to centre, and now you can take your leg across if you like. So I have a few breaths there, I'll just get mine more or less straight up, just over a little bit. And then back to centre, bring the other leg up and release that down. Now we'll do the fabulous figure 4 series. So again, trunk stays still. So we're going to bring the right leg up, just turn it, externally rotate it. You can go internally too if you like, just don't do anything that doesn't feel comfortable or brings on any pain. And now bend it, so externally rotate it and bring the foot to the knee. And just notice if you did need to cock the hip, but even in the slightest, don't brace to get it there. Just notice what happens. And now we're going to take the leg over to the side. So I'm going to go over to the left side. So my right foot's coming down to the floor. So my shoulders are just staying relaxed on the floor. And the grounded foot, this left foot, just rolls over to the side. So just make sure that you don't let the heel slide in or anything. We're keeping this alignment from heel, knee and sit bone. And pop something, if you notice your right shoulder wants to come up, just pop something underneath that left thigh or right foot. And then we'll come up and we'll roll through. So again, the grounded foot just rolls down to the inner foot without the heel or sliding in or out. And again, you can pop something onto that right thigh if you need to. Back to centre, and now we'll bring the legs forward. So ribcage and pelvis stay even towards each other, pelvis stay still, it's just the leg bones coming forward. And either pop a strap around the left thigh or hold the left thigh. And then you can just, don't push this other leg away, you can use the outer hip to draw the leg away if you like, as you bring the left leg in. Release, put the left foot on the floor and then the right foot on the floor. And just feeling the evenness of your body on the floor. Bring your left leg up, and I won't internally rotate mine, but just externally rotate, bring it back to centre. Now I'm going to keep it externally rotated and bring the ankle to my right leg. Trunk stays still, I'm not bracing it, not holding it, it's just quiet. Now shoulders on arms relaxed on the floor, grounded foot just rolls over to the little toe side and taking the legs over to your right. So pop something under the right thigh or left foot if you need to, and just breathe nice and easy. Up through centre and rolling to the other side. And back to centre, and then bringing the legs forward. So again, pelvis stays on the floor, and it's just these leg bones coming forward, and either hold behind the right thigh or pop a strap around, hold the front of your pants, and you can use this outer hip to draw the left leg away. Mine doesn't come very far. And bring the legs in, keeping the throat relaxed, eyes relaxed, jaw soft. Release, right foot on the floor, left leg up and left leg down. So I'm just going to grab a block, and I'm just going to use a medium height for start. So I'm just feeling my feet soft on the floor and everything, lifting my bum up from this butt crease where the back of the leg meets the bum, and the block is just underneath the back of the pelvis, the broad part of the pelvis. And let's just be there for a few breaths. And just notice how your back feels. If this is too much for your back, just pop the block down on the lower side. Now again, we'll bring the right leg forward so pelvis doesn't rock back or anything, just stay still. And you can hold behind the thigh and you can just lengthen that left leg out. So thinking toes stay relaxed, not forcing the toes. And just keep the pelvis still. So again doesn't rock. So keeping that length through that line. And then let's go other side. And let's go back to the first side. Second side. And just put both feet on the floor. Now you can walk both feet away. So now I'm going to keep my feet on the floor, soles of the feet. So let's do that first. Just have both soles of the feet so they start to get cramped on my left foot. Shoulders nice and broad. On the floor you can have your arms out to the side. Now you can try on your heels. So you can just try and keep the toes themselves relaxed, just get a little length through the heels. And then bring the feet up. So if you'd like to, you can just if you can keep the feet on the floor, flip the block up and put it underneath the back, still on the sacrum. You could try that, or you could just lift up and just come as high as you can for a few breaths. This is nice chest opener, nice opening through the front of the hips. Feet are soft on the floor, so make sure you can feel the whole feet on the floor. If you feel any discomfort in your back, go back to the lower height. Even though we've got our chin towards our throat, throat can stay soft, throat is relaxed. We want to bring tension into our thyroid, that's where our thyroid lives, at the back of the throat there. And then we'll lift the hips up, take the block out, bring the back to the floor. Now if you notice now, if you immediately want to draw your knees to the chest, then you've probably overextended, you've gone too high. So just work a little lower until you can build up that strength, that mobility really. So now we're going to we'll do that happy baby. So keep the pelvis on the floor, so we're not rolling the bum up. We're just going to hold behind the knees. You can bring your feet up, so you notice, so still not rolling the lower back up off the floor, back of the pelvis stays on the floor, my inner knees are coming towards my outer ribs, and then you can start creeping the hands up. So, I mean, you can hold your feet, but if you end up doing that, I don't see the point. You're just bringing tension into your back of the neck and the back of the and your shoulders, so it's unwise, really, I would think. And so really it's just the same thing, holding here. And then let's just put our legs out and we'll lie up in Shavasana for a few breaths. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. I'm going to continue on and do another practice. So I'm just going to stay here for about 5 breaths. And then bending the legs. If you're coming up, rolling over. And coming up. So I hope your hips are feeling lovely and released.
Thanks for joining me. Namaste.